Oh, are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Nerd and the Noob, episode 43, Digital Comics, and are the Man of Steel villains a bad thing? Hello! Welcome to Nerd and the Noob. My name is Greg. I am your nerd.
I am Michael. I am your noob.
And if this is your first time coming to the show, this is a show about news and opinions. That's all we really have. We have no other skills.
Nerdy type stuff. One of these days we'll figure out how to actually type something out.
To just run through?
Well, no, just so that we can have our own articles in there. We're what you would call a
info dump.
Info dump. We grab as much of it like we got. We were being told to talk normally, so once again for the third episode in a row, we're going to try and remind us not to yell because we have a much better microphone than we used to. So, Weekend Chat Explosion. Did you have a good weekend?
I did. I saw Despicable Me 2 today. We had a really good time for 4th of July.
Oh, that reminds me. Remind me when we get to the movie stuff, I've got to bring up Les's review for Despicable Me 2.
And I also bought Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is, I've wanted to read all 3 Crises books over the years.
How many are there?
There's 3. Crisis on Infinite Earths, Infinite Crisis, and Final Crisis.
Fair enough.
And I've wanted to read all 3 for so long. So I went ahead and bought it today. What are you doing?
Let's put any more in between both of us.
Because it looks like a penis is pointing at a penis.
Yep, pretty much. Let's see. We went to the comic book store today. I've got probably more than half of the Brightest Day run by Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good. And I got 13 of them for $1 a piece. That was really good. The next 5 I got were like $3 a piece. God bless. Yeah, it'd be awesome. And then I also signed up for Planet Fitness today.
Nice.
Yeah, we went up there, did our sign up. It's $10 a month. I can if I'm not using it, all I gotta do is walk in and go, "Hey, I want to cancel." Done. No fees or anything like that. It's pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I won't be a fat guy forever.
We also would like to throw a shout out and a big thank you to High on Definition. He is a friend of ours. A friend of the show. He's in the chat right now, actually. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
He did new artwork for the show, and it looks effing-tastic.
For those of you that are watching this live, I'm going to flip to one of them right now. Bam! And that's our Twitch logo screen. We also got Twitter icons. We need to get some of it put on Facebook.
Yeah.
But we got Twitch stuff, Twitter stuff. Anything I could put it on, I put it on.
You put it on. It looks really good.
I really think it does. I think it looks really, really well. Apparently the logo is on Facebook.
Our producer, we always point out what he did this weekend, and he also watched Despicable Me 2. Apparently he watched Argo. And due to
that one with Ben Affleck.
Due to all the flooding around Tennessee this weekend, he also bought tickets for Noah's Ark.
My tweet the other day was, "Can somebody please find me Kevin Costner? Nashville's turning into Waterworld. I'm going to need his expertise." Because, dear God, it would not stop raining.
Yeah, it was raining.
And as a cable guy, the rain sucks. Sucks horribly.
And on a final note for the Weekend Chat Explosion, nerdandthenoob.com, we bought the name.
We bought the name, huh?
As a show.
Uh-huh.
Shut up.
Then you owe me $5 as the show.
Okay. The name's been bought for the show, and for now, nerdandthenoob.com goes straight to our Facebook page.
Yeah. We're going to start looking into...
We're going to look into hosting for a full website to try and throw anything and everything we do into one central location.
Yep.
Pull our YouTube videos into it, and everything.
It'd be cool if we could get something where we could drop maybe a chat room, or not a chat room, but a forum, and also the Facebook in there, or maybe just leave the Facebook separate. I don't know. Haven't decided.
I like the Facebook as a forum.
But yeah, so I went and got nerdandthenoob.com. Should take you to the Nerd and the Noob Facebook page, so you don't have to worry about facebook.com/blah blah blah blah. Just go to nerdandthenoob.com. I'm glad I bought that.
All right, we're going to move into our first segment. For those of you who have never listened to the show before, the first segment is called The Long Box. It's items during the week that we think we could probably talk about for a few minutes at least.
Yeah. And this may be the first in a while. One of our long box stories was not found by us.
You know, that's kind of true.
TV shows turning into digital comics. This was found by Rich Fox Jr. And it's on comingsoon.net. I'm loving that website, by the way.
Comingsoon.net?
I get those tweets all day long.
I've been using it for years, man.
Comic-Con. This is all Comic-Con news. Expect for the next couple of weeks to see some Comic-Con stuff. NBC Universal developing digital comics from 80s and 90s TV shows.
Fans of long defunct television shows from the 80s and 90s will be glad to hear that their favorite shows are coming back. Sort of. NBC Universal will be reviving several of their most popular series with their own digital comic series later this year. They're bringing them out under Lion Force Comics. That worries me.
Well, it's
because who in the hell?
Marvel's not gonna publish.
Who's
them.
gonna do it?
Okay. NBC Universal, one of the world's premier media and entertainment companies, has partnered with digital publisher Lion Forge Comics to develop licensed comic books based on popular TV shows from the 80s and 90s. Under the agreement licensed through NBC Universal Television Consumer Products Group, Lion Forge will write, develop, and publish digital comics based on the following shows:
Airwolf, Knight Rider, Miami Vice, Punky Brewster, and Saved by the Bell. Real quick, two of those you might actually read. Go.
Saved by the Bell and Knight Rider.
I'll do Saved by the Bell and Miami Vice.
Which one was that? Was that the one that had who was the cop that had the yellow car?
Nash Bridges.
Nash Bridges. So was that one?
Don something.
Yeah, I
Don
never
Johnson.
watched that one. I never watched that one. Punky Brewster, she got really hot, so maybe if they do a comic book hot version of her. I never watched Airwolf. That was like
our stepfather loved.
That was
Airwolf.
A helicopter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I preferred Knight Rider and Saved by the Bell. It was amazing. Oh, I love Saved by the Bell. Honestly, you know how I would write Saved by the Bell?
Yeah.
Deadpool style. Because he already did that. Like, Zach would stop in the middle of an episode and be like, seriously, guys, what's going on here?
I'm sure they do. Time out.
Oh yeah, he probably gets like first 2 pages. He probably gets a big timeout screen, and then he turns and he starts talking to you.
Now, here's the question: do you continue the series while they're still in high school? Because at that point, we've both watched both high school, college years, and they got married.
Oh yeah, you definitely.
Do you go back to high school?
Oh, you definitely do high school.
So the brick phone.
Oh, dude. Who wouldn't want to draw that kind of thing? Because then you know how everything turned out. You could make so many jokes. Like, they're walking around the brick phone, and they're like, man, you know, I would really love to be able to do this. And one day they'll figure it out. Beep, 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 you know? So, partnering with the team at Lion Forge to bring classic TV properties to life in graphic novel format was a natural step for us as we continue to identify new ways to entertain our fans in the digital space, said Chris Lucero, Director of Global Consumer Products Licensing for NBC Universal Television. We're excited to give fans a chance to revisit some of their favorite shows and characters in a completely new way. That being said, these shows have been written now. Do you think they're going to come out with new material?
Yes, I think it's going to be. I mean, it's not hard to do any of that because it was episodic. So it didn't necessarily follow a specific timeline. You could plug stuff in all over the place.
But like, do you think they end up redoing some of the stuff? Like, do they go, okay, we really, really loved this episode of Saved by the Bell? Or, you know, I guarantee you they make an origin comic for Knight Rider.
Everyone wants to see how Kit was made.
Oh, dude, come on. You know who Kit was?
Or is it the origin of Hasselhoff's mullet?
His Jerry curl mullet? Let me. Oh God, there's so much. I absolutely love this story. I think this is an amazing thing.
The comics are planned for distribution in Q3 and Q4 of 2013, and will be available through the Amazon Kindle bookstore, Apple iBooks, Barnes and Nobles, the Nook store, and Kobo. So as of right now, they're not actually even available on the most popular one, which is Comixology. That could cause a problem. Because I don't buy comics through my iBook store.
I don't either, actually. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll keep you guys up to date on this.
If this comes out Comixology, I'm buying the Saved by the Bell ones. Which is going to totally go backwards with our third story that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But I am buying the Saved by the Bell ones if it goes to Comixology in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah,
because that just. I don't know why, but if done right...
The viewers have seen me over the last year several times wear a Kelly Kapowski shirt.
That could be an amazing, amazing thing.
It could just be cool. I mean, it's not unheard of now. Buffy, Angel, and Firefly...
Buffy ones are pretty popular.
Smallville, all of those have been continued. Like, Smallville and Buffy, their stories themselves have been continued
they
into the comics.
Simpsons. They're never aging. It's just they continue.
Well, no, Smallville does.
The Smallville age?
Yeah, season 11, he's always in Superman costume now.
Oh.
But it still kind of looks like him, you know.
Nice. So let's see. So let me read the last little bit of this. This is just tells when the things are, and we don't really care. So that's a pretty decent article. I want to thank Rich for finding that because that was
we mentioned it a couple weeks ago, I think, but we didn't have any hard proof on it. So this was really cool. So we're going to move on to our next story.
That's so good. I'm so excited for that. I cannot tell you. The next story is this is a little. I found this the other day. I think it was me that found this. Man of Steel sequels. Is Superman Rogues Gallery a problem? Which, for those of you that don't know what that means, I didn't a few months ago. Rogues Gallery is the bad guys. Okay. So I'll let you start at the top.
Not long ago, we mentioned a conversation. By the way, this is off of comicbook.com. A conversation with Eric Larson that Eric Larson was having with fans, in which he idly fantasized about reinventing Superman, and that in that scenario, a key to making it work would be to retool Superman's Rogues Gallery. It got us to thinking about something that comes up from time to time as it regards Superman. Are his Rogues Gallery a liability in terms of trying to build a long-term feature film franchise? And Yes, especially with the way they dealt with it in the most recent Man of Steel movie. He's going to have to kill every one of them.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, Lex he could put in jail.
Well, see, okay, so here's the thing. To me, his only real enemy is probably Lex. The only one that could really work.
Right, but everyone likes... A lot of people like seeing Superman punch people.
No, I get that. I got that. But the problem is there's nobody... The only way that most of these bad guys can take what Superman doles out is by having kryptonite. Like, what's the robot? What's his name? It's probably down here in the article. Let's see. No, not Brainiac.
I know his name. Just give me... Metallo.
Metallo has got like a heart.
Well, there's a picture in here of Parasite. And he feeds off of life energy.
Right.
I don't think he will ever translate well to
see, this has been my problem with DC all along. I mean, it's not just him. Except for Batman, a lot of the villains are super type villains.
Yeah.
And so Superman is a great character as Superman.
I think the only time you bring in another strong guy, like, you could have, like, Doomsday.
Right.
And you could have Darkseid. Darkseid always ends up getting knocked back through his boom tubes to Apocalypse.
Is Doomsday the one that's the Superman clone that looks like crap? Or is that Darkseid?
No, Darkseid is the one from Apocalypse. The other one was...
He's the one that's got the weird face?
Yes.
Doomsday?
Yeah, he's the one that killed Superman.
Okay, so for me, if I'm going to do 3 Superman movies then...
Okay.
Number 2 is Lex.
Uh-huh.
And you leave Kryptonite out of it.
You continue to leave Kryptonite out.
Well, because Kryptonite was in the other one, but not in the form people thought it was. It wasn't. It was in Man of Steel. I think you put Luther in it, Lex in it, and you make it a thriller almost. You make it where he set the series of a series of things into motion, and Superman's always just one step behind because he's Superman. He's not the smartest guy in the world. He's Superman.
Right. All right. What's your third movie then?
The third one is the Doomsday. You kill Superman
for the death of Superman.
You just do it.
All right.
I mean, we know he comes back, and what that does,
I think,
is that lets him stop things.
I think you end up a good progression for 2 would be Lex and Bizarro, because Lex creates Bizarro, the first one.
Bizarro.
He's the reverse Superman.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
you create Bizarro because Bizarro is just a clone. He's defective. He's dying.
Right.
So if Bizarro dies in some form or fashion, it's not necessarily going to be a bad thing.
But it gives you more of a realistic enemy who can take Superman's punches,
right.
But it's not overly...
And it also has to do with the cloning process of Superman. And then I think you leave Doomsday out unless you actually plan on doing like a Supermen series where they break off into Steel, Superboy, and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you transfer and give him an opportunity to end up outside of Earth and go to Apocalypse and take on Darkseid.
Yeah, but I think if you do something like that, personally for me, if you go outside of Earth, then it takes away all the grounding. Because
I don't know,
you
dude.
just don't care.
Some of my favorite part was watching the Krypton stuff in the new one. I really...
Yeah, but
I thought it was
felt something for it.
But
though,
I thought
you?
the Krypton stuff was better paced than the Earth stuff.
Oh, amen to that.
I thought it was way better
Speaking
paced.
of that, we should do honorable mention. We didn't put it in the show, but would you even care about seeing a Superman prequel? Russell Crowe has been talking about how he wouldn't mind doing Jor-El in a prequel.
I don't know if there's anything written about it, but I mean, just to go... This is a giant article. We just topped on the first part. We're not going to read any more of it. If you want to read it, just check it out later on. Just to break it down, if you do it right, the characters don't have to be a nuisance.
Right.
But they have to learn how to do it.
So you wouldn't kill Superman?
No, not yet. I think you kill him at another point. I think that's I think if you kill Superman in the theater, it shocks too many people and they don't like it.
Oh, okay. So my last point then, and I'll give you a good rollover point to the death of Superman. If you do third movie, like everything else is threes.
Yeah.
If you do third movie, you kill Superman. We just talked about the cloning in the second movie.
Yeah.
When you bring up Superman 4, it's actually the story of Superboy. Okay. You can bring in a whole new actor. That way, this one doesn't get tired, blah, 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 blah. And if you want to bring Superman back, you let that one grow into Superman.
Okay, let's move on.
So, I like that. That's definitely good, too.
Last story of the day for the long box is Comixology is offering subscriptions and bundles.
So I found this. This is a giant article. We're going to read the
it's
first
from
little bit.
comicbookresources.com. 3 different sites for the long box.
High five.
All right.
Comic creators often have their own stories of staying up late through the night, finishing a script, or a set of pages to meet a tough deadline. But CEO David Steinberger and his team at Comixology may be some of the first in the business to boast a marathon session of coding for the last system update.
Late last week, the leading digital comics platform completed a set of changes that have made comic subscriptions a reality on Comixology, along with discounted bundle purchases of whole series and other comics combinations. CBR News spoke with Steinberger Friday night after the new features were set in the system, and the executive explained the form and functionality of products which offer up new controls for readers in general, discount bundles from a 6-volume lot of Chew trades to 21 early issues of the new Valiant universe, and generally fulfills some long-awaited customer requests.
In addition, Steinberger addresses the current state of Comixology, where the platform is at after some fumbles early this year, and where they're headed at San Diego Comic-Con looms, while revealing Hawkeye as leading the subscription pack since the service debuted with its soft launch on June 28th, a position CBR confirmed the series maintains as of the publication of this interview. So, I want to read Hawkeye, by the way. We really need to get
I'm going to buy the first trade.
Well, let me know, because I want to read that.
Okay, so to break this down, they're going to offer you subscriptions. That's the biggest thing a lot of people saw.
So, okay, now, is this the thing about, like, okay, so I go into my local comic book store like we did today.
Yes, it's the same thing.
It's
you have a box.
I've got my name in a box.
Now, my question is, and I haven't seen how it... I haven't seen how they say they do it. We're going to research this a little bit more. I would prefer a text message warning saying each week saying that, hey, it's time to, this book was just released this week, would you like to purchase it?
Alright, so I'll read this. If you get a point, what am I going to do? Okay, so let me read this. Here's a question from the article. So how does this work from the purchaser's point of view? Are you coming in and saying, I want to buy a 12-issue subscription to this comic? Answer: no. This is more like an auto-pay subscription. If you're a comic book person, it works like a pull list, except we auto-charge you and say, this is ready for download. This is really about convenience. It's about letting a person say, I don't want to track when the next issue of my favorite comic book is coming out. To use an example of the leading book coming out, which one things that's been really great today with the launch is that we have permission to talk about the leading book, which at this point is Hawkeye. Say, I want to know if the new issue of Hawkeye is coming out, but I don't even want to open the app. I'm just going to turn it on when I know I want to read it. And what happens is that Comixology is going to send me an email about it. You get an email on Thursday afternoon that says, here's what we expect to come out over the next 10 days and the dates they'll arrive. Okay. So that answers your question. This is the reason I sent you this article.
It's kind of both.
And then on the correct day of release, which is mostly Wednesday, but DC, for example, has a bunch of digital first series that come out 6 days of the week, which you can subscribe to. We'll drop an email that morning saying your comic is ready to download.
Okay, so I'm good, but not good with this.
Okay.
I would prefer a digital thing instead of an email, because your Comixology app is on your mobile device.
So you want like a push notification?
I would have a push notification that pops up and stays there in your little bar thing that says, this comic is ready for. This comic was released this week. Here's your pull list, and you can go through and you can confirm or deny. Confirm buying this one, deny doing this one. Now, and then streamline that to where once you confirm it, it takes the $1 or the $3 or the $4 out of your thing. I would rather have that. Yes, a lot of comic people already budget in, okay, I buy $25 worth of books a week, so I already know that it's going to come out, but I don't know if I like that.
Right, okay, but you do that now. Well, you may not. I do. I have a pull list at the store. Now, granted, I think right now it's only 3 or 4 comics. It's not a lot. But if you've got a pull list at, say, Nashville Comic of Design or blah, 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 whatever. If you've got a pull list there, then you don't just you don't go up there and then get your comics out of the pull list and then go, I don't want that one this week.
I do. At the last comic shop,
you can.
At the last comic shop I was at, I had so much in my pull list that I would go, okay, I'm gonna get these this time. Go ahead and put these back in the box.
Okay, you're still telling them you're going to buy those.
Yes, but I'm still doing what I said. I'm confirming.
Well, okay, so you didn't say that. You didn't say what you're saying is you essentially just want them to keep a running list of your comics that you've pulled.
Yes,
and then if you don't want to buy them right that second.
Yeah, have like a confirm this week, or if you say remind me later, it'll remind you in a couple of days. Hey, this came out, would you like to buy it now? Gives you an opportunity to get to a point to where maybe you can buy it. Does that make sense?
I got that.
Are you good with the subscription part?
Me, I like the subscription part. Now, what I was going to say in general to this is I don't like digital.
Okay.
As a rule, if I'm going to quote unquote collect something, I like to stay away from the digital.
Okay.
So if I
tell you what, I'm gonna actually try this. There are a couple of digital series that I do.
Okay.
There's a Batman Beyond one that's a weekly thing I do. It's 99 cents and so on. So I'm gonna try this. I'll come back in a month's time or whatever
and see what the pull list is
and see what it's like, and I'll let everybody know.
Cool. Fair enough. Guys, this is a giant article. If you want to go read it, it looks like a very, very well done article. Again, it's from comicbookresources.com. Please go check it out. The link should be down in the show notes below. If they're not, please be sure to email us or send us a message and we'll get you these notes. All right? So we're going to move on. That is the end of the long box for today. Hope you enjoyed those stories. I really enjoyed that long box.
That was a good long box.
Last week's long box was kind of
This week's
good week for a
long
box.
Our next thing is something it's the only one of the first original things we started doing recently.
What, the nerd list?
The nerd list. This week's first of all, we are going to start doing our second nerd list, which is the top 10 Marvel characters in order from first to 10. So
So in my case, my top Marvel would probably, even though I don't read it anymore, would probably start out with something like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Deadpool.
I like how Deadpool was recently made to your top 5.
Well, you know what? We've been reading enough of the stuff that he makes me laugh. And that. So what? And then like 10 would be like Captain America because he just won't stay dead.
So go check it out on our Facebook page when you get a chance. It's going to run for the next 2 weeks.
You go to nerdandthenoob.com. Should take you straight there.
And we will get that posted up and ready for you guys to vote for us because we liked it last time. It was cool to see an organic list happen.
Oh yeah. That was amazing. So the next up is we're going to Comic of the Week. And speaking of Deadpool, this week you picked
Deadpool Kills Deadpool #1, written by Cullen, Bunn, and art by Salvador.
And apparently this is a 4-part.
Espin.
This is apparently a 4-part series.
Yeah,
I think I read that on the front of the comic.
Yeah.
So let's go with. Do we do 1 to 10 or 1 to 5? We always forget. I think we do 1 to 10.
Yeah, we'll do 1 to 10.
We should make that a thing.
It's 1 to 10 now.
Alright, so we'll do 1 to 10. Go for it.
I love Deadpool because of the humor, depending on who's writing him.
Right.
A little bit funnier in the book I read this week, but today's book, I'll give it a 7.
I think I'm going to give it an 8 because I don't know what it is, but almost all Deadpool art, I just absolutely love it.
Okay.
I've not found one so far that I haven't liked. So I really enjoy the art. I think it looks good.
I read Deadpool only if the person writing it is funny.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know, like at one point, don't they say something about AC/DC or something? And then one of the multiple Deadpools in this book goes, "Throw up the horns if you're going to talk."
Oh no, he says crew.
Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Says if you're going to talk about the crew, throw up the horns. The book is this series is going to be based around Deadpool and the Deadpool. What did they call it? The Deadpool core.
Which if I knew that was a thing, I
would
would
read
find
the book.
those sets because that was amazing.
The Deadpool core and 616 Deadpool are being hunted.
Hey, time out real quick. What the heck is 616?
It's Marvel proper.
Why is it 616?
I don't actually know.
Okay, so it is the current, this timeline, this Earth, this
yes.
blah 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 616. That's what that means.
That's what that means.
Okay, so back to you.
It's just based around that there's an assassin going around killing all the Deadpools in the alternate universes.
It is amazing. It looks like a Deadpool, but he's not dressed as Deadpool.
Right.
Like the body style, the way the mask fits.
Yeah.
He looks like Deadpool.
There was a pool, dog pool.
There's a dog pool. There was a
Lady D.
There's 2 other Deadpools.
What did he say? 1940s Deadpool, or gas mask Deadpool, and
overly macho Deadpool.
Overly macho leader with the weird mask.
And then there was Kid Pool. At the beginning of it, there was Head Pool.
Head Pool was funny because it was a zombie version, I think.
Yeah, stuck his head in a microwave.
Him up. It was funny. The art was good. The writing was really solid. I love the jokes in Deadpool. So I mean, just overall, the big panels that every time that they tell a joke is what sticks in my mind.
Yeah. See, like when I'm reading something like Superman, I want big graphic panels. I want artwork to be amazing.
If you get graphic with Deadpool, it's his guts everywhere.
Exactly. With Deadpool, I honestly would rather the comic be a little wordy and maybe be a little shorter.
Yeah.
Because like you can get how long are normal comics? Like
22 pages.
Okay, if you can get a 22-page Superman comic and it not be wordy, but still take a while to read it because there's just so much good art in it.
Deadpool is good wordy.
Deadpool is amazing wordy.
You've got the funny going on in there,
and it rolls quicker. Like when they do like Justice League is wordy or something like that. There's just so much in it. It just feels like your brain's gonna explode from it.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like it. This is. I like it. I definitely got an 8.
So from 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, you gave it a 7. Or you gave it an 8, and I gave it a 7. Yeah. So we'll split it at 7.5.
Fair enough.
And suggest it. We haven't done that in a long time.
So you're supposed to bring me.
Deadpool. Yeah, I read Deadpool Dead Presidents, which was the first trade of the newest
we read part
run.
Of that.
It's so funny.
So you were supposed to bring that to me.
I know, I forgot.
Although I got 2 more green. Let me tell you, that Green Lantern Corps trade I got today.
Yeah.
Really good.
You already read it?
Well, about halfway through.
Nice.
Pretty good. So,
Moving on to Noob Versus. Last week's Noob Versus was who is the coldest of the cold. It was Sub-Zero versus Iceman, and I cannot believe it.
By 2
points, Sub-Zero brought it home. Hells yeah.
I'm pretty sure you cheated.
I did not. I would totally own up to it. How does a primarily so surprised
comic-based show lose to Sub-Zero?
Because Sub-Zero is a badass motherfucker.
Pretty sure you cheated.
I did not cheat. So
Sub-Zero won 29-27. We've got votes going now on our Facebook, on our Twitter, and also on, what's that website called?
TheComicForums.com.
We've been posting them on there. So,
Alright, so this week's Masked Mayhem. You must pick characters that are masked fighters. I picked Bane.
son of a... Masked fighters. Like, are we talking like Street Fighters, or can I pick anybody with a Deathstroke?
Deathstroke?
Is that him?
Yeah.
The one, the half and half?
Yeah.
I'd go with that.
We're going both comic this time?
Why not? Deathstroke's gonna kick your ass.
Not happening.
Wait, which Bane are you?
Smart Bane.
Are you?
Well, he was BA, but...
are you like Batman Beyond? Quit reading your tweets. Are you like Batman Beyond Bane? Or not Batman Beyond, but like the Batman the Animated Series Bane?
That Bane is fine.
You have to pick one.
Just Bane.
No.
It's up to their mind as to which Bane they think.
Okay, well, I'm going Deathstroke the Assassin.
Alright.
You're going with Bane the Thug.
Alright.
Obviously, Assassin trumps Thug any day. I'm going to lose this week, aren't I?
Uh-huh.
Ah, damn it.
Bane versus Deathstroke.
By the way, it's spelled B-A-N-E. Right?
Yes.
Oh, I hate you.
Alright, moving on to our 16-person tournament.
It's called Lords of Swords Round 2 Results. So I'm going to go through. I'll do the first 2. You do the second 2.
All right.
And then we'll say who we would like to go in the next one. So the first matchup last week was Snake Eyes versus Connor MacLeod from Highlander. Snake Eyes, overwhelming majority, won that one.
Yeah.
Inigo Montoya versus Blade. I do not believe in this one at all. But apparently Blade won by 2 votes.
Yoshimitsu versus Deathstroke. Deathstroke won by 2 votes. And Leonardo versus Deadpool. And Deadpool won by 10 votes. So next week's stuff is Snake Eyes versus Blade. And Deathstroke versus Deadpool.
Well, that one's good. Snake Eyes versus Blade. Personally, I think I'm going to have to go with Snake Eyes on that.
I do agree with Snake Eyes.
I believe the ninja part of that beats the I'm half vampire part of that any day of the week.
Do you feel like Deathstroke is smart enough to actually kill Deadpool? Because, I mean, he's pretty resilient.
Deadpool beats Deathstroke.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so our semifinal is Snake Eyes versus Blade and Deathstroke versus Deadpool.
And apparently Deathstroke versus Deadpool is a rematch of a Noob versus we had last year.
How does it...
It just happens.
Alright.
We'd have to go back and look and see who won.
Okay. Coming attractions this week is, not even kidding, it says it. Will Gru defeat Tonto, or will the dynamic duo of Mike and Sully remain on top? First in the box office this week was Despicable Me 2 at $82.5 million. Lone Ranger, as we're recording this, it was at $29.4.
Giant flop.
The Heat is at $25 million. Monsters U only pulled in 19, and World War Z is still pulling in almost 20 at 18.2.
Nice. And I tell you what. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what you thought about?
Oh, I died laughing.
Despicable Me 2.
It's just a short. I died laughing through the whole damn thing. I would pay to see an entire movie of the Minions.
Oh, it's coming.
2.5 hours of the Minions would make me laugh so hard.
What do you bet? What do you want to bet it's coming?
But overall, it's just, I thought it was fantastically funny.
Uh-oh.
Did you lose it all?
Yeah.
Could have shared with me.
I did that. Is it in there?
I think we lost it.
Hey, Les, why don't you put yours in the just in the doc, and I can read it there because I apparently have lost it. I can't read it. Make sure it's not in here.
Way to go.
Yeah, I imagine that the Despicable Me I imagine that the Minions will probably have their own before it's over with, because that was too good. Dang, I can't find it. So, let's see if we can read Les's here. He says, Gru is back in the high-anticipated sequel to Despicable Me, and evidently a very popular sequel. Steve Carell is funny as usual, and I'm not sure what country Gru is from, but he's still funny.
He faces a problem all men have to deal with, his girls growing up and liking boys. Ew. The Minions are hilarious as always. You're not sure who the villain is up until the end of the movie. The movie overall is good, kid movie or not. I thought maybe a 6 out of 10, bumping it up for half a point, so to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I don't know if I agree with that. I thought it was funny. At the end of it, should I spoil?
No, because I want to go see this one.
Okay. Let's just say at the end of it, the Minions do a song that killed in our theater today when I saw it. I mean, everyone died.
Wow.
So, yeah, I loved it. It was funny. This month's coming attractions is, of course, Despicable Me 2 and Lone Ranger. July 12th is Pacific Rim and Grown Ups 2.
Which now, seeing more and more previews for Pacific Rim, I'm going to have to watch this.
Yeah.
So what sucks is next week I could ideally watch Despicable Me 2, Pacific Rim, and Grown Ups 2.
And yet, we're not going to be in town.
Oh no!
Well, we might be in town for those. We don't leave until, what, the 14th, 18th?
That reminds me.
That's this coming week. Anyway, July 19th, Red 2 and R.I.P.D.
I want to see both of those.
And July 26th is the Wolverine.
I want to see that. I want to see that. Speaking of Red 2, I just finally watched the newest Die Hard.
Yeah, you said it was meh. It was a Die Hard.
Here's what kills me about the Die Hard movie. This one, they walk into Chernobyl like it's nothing. And apparently they get this device and go whoa, 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 and run it all around in there, and it's apparently that fixes all the radiation in Chernobyl. And that part kind of pissed me off. Side note, my wife says that Bruce Willis' son in that is very sexy.
I don't know who that was.
I don't either, but she liked him.
Alright, the trailers that are up that you should go look at is the new Elysium trailer. The first official clips of Justice League Flashpoint Paradox.
That was pretty good. So far, just from what I was looking at that, it looked word for word like the trailer.
It looked pretty dang close. Riddick's first TV spot, and Phineas and Ferb Marvel Missions.
I'm totally DVRing
We're DVRing that, and we will watch it. We might even review it for the show.
Good idea! We should totally review that.
You should hang on to it just in case so I can watch it. Okay, moving into our next segment, which is the short box. It is a list of stuff that we wanted to talk about, but didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on.
So we spend usually about 2 to 3 minutes or less on these.
On the whole section. The first one up is DC News. 9 ways Man of Steel makes a DC movie universe more difficult. This is probably going to take longer than a few minutes.
Well, we'll go through it. Almost exactly 1 year ago, I wrote a piece. This is from superherohype.com. I wrote a piece called 9 Ways DC Entertainment Can Catch Up to Marvel Studios as a lead into the release of The Dark Knight Rises and the impending Comic-Con. Now, since we've seen how successful the final chapter of that movie has been, as well as the success of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, it seems like a good time for a follow-up piece, especially with another Comic-Con just 2 weeks away. Back in 2010, then Warner Brothers president Alan Horn knew what their partnership with DC Entertainment offered in terms of great characters and stories, and that they could potentially help fill in the gap once the Harry Potter movies came to a close. But they've yet to do much with any of the characters beyond Batman and now Superman, and that's been the case for a decades-long partnership.
All right, number one is Man of Steel was way too big. Where do you go from here?
Amen.
Just amen to that.
I thought it was a good movie, but I agree to that. Now that you look at it, it's like, how do you go bigger than that?
Number two is casting around Henry Cavill and the new Batman. They haven't even done any of that, so that's a problem.
Right. Number three is, if you do Man of Steel 2 in 2015 or 2016, won't that make it even harder to introduce other characters? How is that? Nothing's been announced as of yet, but the success of Man of Steel and the fact that there's already a screenplay for a sequel in the works would make one thing that Warner Brothers would go forward with the sequel before trying to do Justice League. If that's the case, and we can figure that it's going to take a good 2 years to make that movie, this means that it will be at least 3 to 4 years before we see another DC Universe character. Okay, fair enough. There you go.
How do you introduce Flash, Wonder Woman, etc. in standalone movies without ripping off Dark Knight and Man of Steel? That is... Well, I don't think you rip off either one of those with the Flash. I think you could probably make Flash a little bit more lighthearted. Barely, though. Not much. I think they're all going to end up dark.
This is the easy answer might be to say you can't, because there have been scripts in development on movies about the Flash and Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel / Shazam for years that don't necessarily take into account what happened in the Dark Knight movies or Man of Steel.
Next.
Fair enough.
This is going to kill all of DC's time.
Well, we only got a few more to go. Assuming my website loads. Superhero hype's being kind of slow. Okay, we're gonna give this another couple seconds, and then we'll end up letting it move on.
Well, if you want to see the rest of them, go to see it on superherohype.com and check out the full article.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to move on. Yep, our internet went.
The next one is no Christian Bale in Justice League, says Christian Bale.
Oh, no, there's superhero hype. Here we go. Since before Man of Steel was released and the speculation for Justice League movie hit an all-time high, many fans have been wondering if Christian Bale will reprise his role as Bruce Wayne. We now have a direct answer from the man, and it's not the one you wanted to hear.
We were incredibly fortunate to get to make 3 Batman films. That's enough. Let's not get greedy. Bale told EW. Chris Nolan always said he wanted to make it one film at a time, and we ended up sitting there looking at each other saying, we're about to make the 3rd. We never really knew if we were going to get to be there, but if that was how it was going to be, this was where it should end as well.
I have no information, no knowledge about anything. I've literally not had a conversation with a living soul. I understand that they will be making a Justice League movie. That's it. It's a torch that should be handed from one actor to another. So I enjoy looking forward to what somebody else will come up with. You know, I actually just thought about this. I read the Nightwing trade for the first trade for the New 52 Nightwing. Mm-hmm. And it starts out with him talking about Dick Grayson, his time as Batman.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the route they go. I mean, not Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I know we joke about that all the time, but maybe...
see, but that resolved... Well, I don't know. Maybe it revolves around Bruce being gone for a while.
Right. Maybe Nightwing gets his own movie,
and then...
when they pull the Justice League movie, you find a way to bring him into the Batman costume.
Okay.
That would be a way to solve Batman.
Next up.
Next thing on the short box is comic news. Vertigo launching 6 new titles, including a Sandman release. You're the.
I know people that are going to love that. I didn't see any titles on here that I really wanted to check out, but we will just go ahead and go through the list here. If you scroll down, we just wanted to talk about the list. Hinderkind. Let's see here. The Discipline. Dead Boy Detectives.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Suiciders, Coffin Hill, The Witching Hour, along with another Sandman book.
I don't know any of these.
I don't read a lot of Vertigo.
It's weird.
It's kind of like the dark side of DC.
Oh, okay.
So I have never really.
I've read a couple of dark comics in my time, and they're really good art. I mean, it's like creepy good stuff.
I read an omnibus for Sandman. Tyler's got 2 of them.
Good.
Parts of it. There was a really cool part that shows where it shows Sandman visiting the same guy over the course of a century. Mm-hmm. Because the guy says something to Sandman, and he says, "You shall not die till blah blah blah," and the guy just continues on. He changes lives and everything else for like 100 years or whatever. And it's really cool to watch that progression going through like Shakespearean time up through current time and stuff. So that was kind of cool. And then there was this weird ass thing with a rabbit, I think. So it's really weird.
Next thing is Walking Dead going bi-weekly in an all-out war. Now, is this comics or the show?
Don't know.
Let's see. Looks like the comics.
Robert Kirkman has announced at the Image Expo that Walking Dead will go bi-weekly for 7 months, beginning in October's number 115 in a 12-issue arc entitled All Out War. Stefano Guadiano will help artist Charlie Adler out by inking the comics in question.
Oh, wow. So this is the comics. All right. That's insane. So they're going to go every 2 weeks have a new Walking Dead comic out. Mm-hmm. You like those, don't you?
Yeah. So
that
just means I'll get another hardcover trade out sooner.
I quit watching the show. It's not that I don't like the show, but I have so much other stuff going on. It was getting a little weird for me. I didn't mind the jail stuff, but it just it felt like it got a little closed in to me.
Okay.
So... we're going to move on to TV news. Just got one little bit of TV news. Game of Thrones Season 4 news, which we just started Season 3, so I'm going to totally screw with myself here.
It says, Oberyn the Red Viper is cast to be in Season 4, and for those who have read the books, that's going to mean something.
Oberyn the Red Viper is easily one of the biggest and most anticipated new characters that will be introduced in the 4th season of Game of Thrones. HBO has cast Chilean actor Pedro Pascal in the role. I'm sure many of you aren't familiar with who this guy is, but he's been in shows such as CBS's The Good Wife, ABC's Red Widow, and USA's Graceland.
This will easily be the biggest and best role of his career, and if he plays it right, it will help him launch to a new level.
Here's a brief description of the character real quick. Oberyn is a brash, charming, cunning prince of Dorne, part of the 7 kingdoms of Westeros. His sister Ella was brutally murdered by the Lannister knight Gregor the Mountain Clegane when Mad King Aerys was overthrown by Robert Baratheon and the Lannisters. In Season 4, Oberyn comes to King's Landing with revenge on his mind.
Woo!
Nice. Speaking of HBO, by the way, if you haven't watched it and you can find a way to watch it, The Newsroom is ungodly
I've
amazing.
watched a couple episodes with you.
Oh my god. So good. Please go watch it. It was so good.
Moving on to our next story.
Next thing up is movie news.
Cool infographic here. We'll just touch on it, and then it's on our Facebook page, so you can go check it out.
Highest grossing movies of all time. I looked at this the other day. It shouldn't be hard to guess what the biggest movie franchises of all time are. But here's a nifty little infographic from BuzzFeed that visually breaks it all down for us. With the Star Wars franchise set to continue in 2015, it's sure to surpass James Bond at some point. Out of all the franchises listed here, what is your favorite?
Number 1 is, on top, James Bond with 14... Is that billion?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's billion.
Yes. $14 billion. Now, that includes all the James Bond's films.
Starting with Sean Connery and going all the way through to current times.
Then we've got Star Wars has made over $9 billion, as well as Harry Potter, which I think is more impressive that Harry Potter made $9 billion because it did it in a quicker time.
Yeah, but it's had almost the same amount of movies. Actually, it's had more movies. Star Wars has done it with less movies, and it did it longer ago. That's a word.
Then you got the Marvel Cinematic Universe has actually only done $5 billion, which is pretty surprising.
Tolkien Saga has done less than 5, so has Batman, but considering most of that came from Nolan.
I was going to say, looking at the graphic, it's kind of split. Burton and Schumacher have about half of it, and Nolan's got the other half. Pirates of the Caribbean, then Spider-Man. I mean, this is a good graphic. You guys should really go look at this. It goes all the way down to the Bourne series at $1 billion.
It's not bad, which is under Rambo. That's funny.
That's sad. Not by much, though.
Lethal Weapon, $1.6 billion.
So you definitely need to go check out this infographic. It should be in the show notes. Again, if there's something that you hear about and you don't see it in the show notes, please send us a message and we'll be glad to pull it out and send it to you. Then we got Lone Ranger to become a franchise. Amen to that. I think it... Oh, wait, never mind. That's backwards. Really? How should this be...
I don't know.
I knew. No doubt the cast and crew behind the much buzzed about Lone Ranger are hoping for a franchise. In fact, Armie Hammer, who stars as the iconic masked Texas Ranger, fighting for justice in the Old West, says he's already signed for a couple more. But we'll see, he tells me. It all kind of depends on this one.
I think another one happens, but I don't know. They spent a crap ton of money on this movie, and as we've said, it's kind of bombing at the moment.
At the bottom it says, funny enough, it's Johnny Depp who says he isn't officially committed to more flicks. I think it's a one-shot deal, he said.
I think he's right. I think the Lone Ranger ends up being one, that's it, and he's done.
One and done? You think it's a one and done?
I think it's one and done.
Good, because it apparently is bombing.
Alright, next up is Michael Bay messing with the Shredder. Yes, he is. Speaking with Screen Rant, William Fichtner, who is playing Shredder in the new Ninja Turtles, gave up a few basic details of the character as now written. He says, I actually play a guy named Eric Satch in the movie, and then he goes through a few stages in his existence.
Eric Sachs, never heard of him. Now the writer doing the transcription seemed unsure that Fetchner said Sachs, but seeing as the name will be a riff on
Oroku Saki,
the original Shredder, I think it's a very safe bet. What else might it have been anyway? Sykes, could I really live in a universe so brilliant that the villain of a Ninja Turtles movie is named after the director of The Plank? Oh my god. Oh my god, really? Is he really not even...
As well as his comments on going through changes, Fichtner hinted at more disruption to the Ninja Turtle norm in his other comments on the film. He says, there is a whole interesting dynamic that happens in the world of Turtles, and all I can really say about it at this point while working on it is that the Turtles film, it's not like anything that I remember about the Turtles before. I feel like this Michael Bay produced movie is just going to really be something else. I'm pretty excited.
See, why do they always want to change shit?
I don't know.
I mean, seriously.
I mean,
it's I'm really excited that they're playing with this. Just the.
I mean, yeah, it's cool that they're doing Turtles. I was getting excited for it, and then all of a sudden,
yeah. Now we've got College Humor Guide to what movie you should see this summer. This is from Geek Tyrant. Apparently, College Humor has put together an infographic guide. We love infographics at this show. To what movies you should see this summer. I'm sure all of you know what you want to see and what you don't want to see, but this infographic is still fun to go through, so it's worth taking a look.
Let's try it. I'll do it here. Do you want to see a superhero movie? Yes.
All right. One with real superpowers?
No. We'll go with no this time.
No. Man-made strength, please. Okay. Do you want the kid sidekick to be cute or foul-mouthed? All right. Cute. So you want to go see Iron Man 3.
All right. Now your turn.
Oh, wait. There's an option. Can there not be a kid? Or can there not be a kid? No. Okay. Back to the same question. All right. So do you want to see a superhero movie? I'm going to go with no because you went with yes.
Okay. Something about the future of the world.
Yes.
Okay. Just like global strife, whatever. Oh, what kind of future?
Future. What is? I don't know.
Dystopian future, end of the world, or global strife?
Global strife.
Okay, so you're going over here. And you're sure you don't want a superhero movie?
Yes.
Okay, enough with the superheroes. Okay, pick your villain. Zombies or monsters?
Monsters.
Pacific Rim.
I'm going to see Pacific Rim! This is really funny. I like this. This is cool.
Okay, but you want some kind of explosion-filled awesome... Oh, that's funny. It follows through now. Is Ender's Game on there?
Of course, it is summer after all. Okay, it says... Okay, but the next part says, okay, but you want some kind of explosion-filled awesome movie, right? Oh, that comes off of... Do you want to see a superhero movie? No. Something about the future of the world? No. Blah, 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 down to the bottom. Alright, so you pick start from here. Okay, you want some kind of explosion-filled movie, right? Say no or yes.
No.
Okay. Ooh, you want a baby movie for babies? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. How do you feel about Billy Crystal? Alright, Despicable Me 2.
Alright.
If you had said no, I just want to see an intelligent, original story that doesn't rely on cheap tricks.
Watch one of the many brilliant dramatic series on television.
Wow.
This is really funny. Check out this thing. It's on collegehumor.com. It's pretty funny. Check it out.
That is hilarious. We're going to have to play with that later. Alright, then we're going to move on to Marvel news. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch to be a big part of Avengers 2.
Okay, so having recently read House of M, they are the reason that everything goes to hell.
Quicksilver?
Yes. He talks her into doing it. So I wonder if he's bleeding into a House of M storyline after Days of Future Past.
No, I don't think this is,
Oh, I'm sorry, different world. For Avengers 2, you think he could bleed into...
it'll be hard for him to go into House of M without mutants.
I'm thinking number 3.
How do you add mutants when you don't have the rights to it?
You find the mutants that haven't been used yet.
How? No, I'm sorry, because the whole thing of House of M is Professor X, Cyclops.
Okay.
You cannot do House of M.
Okay.
Not in its current state. Phase 2 of Marvel Cinematic Universe is in full swing, and the next 3 big screen features, along with the recently released Iron Man 3, will bring audiences to its big conclusion with Marvel's The Avengers 2 on May 1st, 2015.
Crave Online caught up with the writer-director Joss Whedon on the red carpet for last night's Saturn Awards and asked him about the much-anticipated sequel and how he plans to balance his take on Quicksilver against what Bryan Singer's plans are for the character in the X-Men Days of Future Past.
They're a huge part of Marvel's The Avengers 2, Whedon said, of Quicksilver and his sister, the Scarlet Witch. I'm really excited about it. I don't know what they're doing, and I'm determinedly not knowing. They'll do their thing. I have to do mine. This looks so cool. We have, let's see.
We both have, speaking of that, because they are in the Fox X-Men universe, we both have them face told superhero hype last summer. There's a specific arrangement with those 2 characters that would allow us to use them with Avengers, but not discuss or reference their mutant or Magneto-related lineage. They can use them as mutants and as Magneto's relatives, but cannot have anything to do with the Avengers.
Wow, that's weird. How do you explain away their powers?
I don't know. Born with it. That's all you say.
Okie dokie.
Alright, next story.
See, why can't these people just...
get along?
Yeah.
Why can't we all just get
Possible
along?
Spider-Man villain spoiler found by Lily Hamilton. Major spoilers to follow. Wait, you ready? Spoilers! Alright, the amazing, let's see, okay, spoilers, here we go. Reports are coming in that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 may be shaking up its villain roster by featuring Harry Osborn as Green Goblin.
Put a rubber mask on him and let him go to town. I think it would be cooler to have him a crazy guy with a rubber mask.
Early word seem to suggest that Norman, played by 63-year-old Chris Cooper... Oh crap, we know who he is now! Wait, who's Chris Cooper? That name sounds
We've
familiar.
already looked.
Okay. Would be assuming the iconic villain's role, but now it sounds like Dane DeHane's Harry will be suiting up instead for the climax of the film, which will reportedly take place at an Oscorp power plant. Again, though, this is yet to be confirmed by the studio.
I didn't really want to see any more bad guys. I'm kind of worried they're going to pull a Spider-Man 3 in this and just have too many in it.
What if this is just like an end credit thing, like not necessarily credit, but like the last 2 minutes, something's happened and Harry just goes batshit crazy, and that's why he decides he wants to do it.
Well, we'll see.
That way, it's not a whole movie thing.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
And the last bit of Marvel news is Hellboy 3, possibly with legendary film.
This isn't Marvel news, but okay.
Is he not Marvel?
Hellboy's not Marvel.
Oh. You yell at your producer for that.
Legendary Pictures, the company that produced 300 The Watchmen and all 3 Christopher Nolan Batman films and Man of Steel, could add another high-profile comics adaptation to its roster, maybe.
This is a thing from spinoff.comicbookresources.com.
Shock Drop recently spoke with Hellboy director Guillermo del Toro and star Ron Perlman, both of whom commented the possibility of a third film in the franchise setting up at Legendary.
I hate giving pieces about it, del Toro said, but last night we were at dinner and Ron said, I would be very happy to do Hellboy again. When are we doing Hellboy 3? Legendary head Thomas Toll said, I would love to see Hellboy 3. He didn't say he would love to do it, he just said he would love to see it, but today I'll ask him.
Okay, just to break this down, would you like a Hellboy 3?
Man, it's been so long since Hellboy 2 came out.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would care. I think I like
the first one better than the second one.
Well, I think that the special effects have grown so much since they did the second one, and that it might work a lot better.
I liked it.
So I didn't dislike it. I'm just saying it's been long enough now that you would almost have to reinvent the story a little bit to be able to do it. So. Oh, and he says that, or yell at ourselves for not catching it, that this wasn't Marvel news.
I didn't think
I blame you. And we got a couple pieces of gaming news.
Just real quick, Geek.com has a demo available for Gran Turismo 6 for any of those who
like their racing games.
I haven't played a racing game in so many years.
While The Last of Us may be held up as the best game ever to be released on the PS3, Sony's current gen console does have one more new title that will show off what the hardware is capable of. That game is Gran Turismo 6, and today you can download and play the demo. At only 1 gigabyte in size, it won't take most broadband connections long to download the demo. Once installed, you get access to the Silverstone Racetrack and GT Academy gameplay. Basically, the demo teaches you how to hone your driving skills in order to bring your lap time down.
I have not been interested in any of these racing games for years.
That picture looks
the
really
graphics
good.
are always fantastic.
My problem with racing games is I always go backwards and try to wreck everybody.
That was my favorite NASCAR game ever.
I know. And the last bit of news we've got today is Remember Earthworm Jim. Apparently, Earthworm Jim might make a comeback. This might possibly have been one of my favorite games back in the day.
Old school gamers will instantly recognize the name Earthworm Jim, whether they physically played the game or not. Debuting on the Sega Genesis in 1994 and subsequently ported to a variety of consoles and handheld systems, the side-scrolling platformer was a difficult yet enjoyable romp that managed to spawn 2 sequels, Earthworm Jim 2 and Earthworm Jim 3D. The current generation of gamers will likely recognize the series by the most recent Earthworm Jim HD remake.
The point of all this being, Jim has been around for... I totally lost my thought here. Has been around a long time, but it seems like an eternity since a worthwhile adventure with his name attached was released. Both Earthworm Jim 3D and the HD remake were poorly received. If the most recent post by the game's creator on the official Facebook page is anything to go by, however, that may soon change.
Simple question. Earthworm Jim game? Buying it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
I'll do the Steam on PC for it.
Yeah!
I'll Steam it. Because that would be awesome. I think, especially if it's something like the old... nothing is a good side-scroller really anymore. Like, I've played a couple, like Limbo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like them. It's like, I want a good, old-fashioned side-scroller with some good graphics.
Yeah.
You know, I would definitely...
I always thought Earthworm Jim had pretty decent graphics anyway. I've gone back and played the old ones and freaked out. Just been like, oh my god!
Because there's always that one part you just can't get past. You're like, you go come back 2 hours later and you do it in one try and you're like, what the crap?
And that is it for the short box and subsequently our stories for the week. The next segment is Question of the Week. Last week's was what comic should be made into a live-action TV show? Shane Miller says Origins of Storm and introduce her brother.
William McCamus says The Runaways.
James Tipper says the new Thunderbolts or Deadpool. Denny Lawler says definitely Deadpool if they can find the right actor.
Dave Townsend, I think a Green Lantern core series with a Doctor Who style, change the main actor every couple of years by going through the Earth Green Lanterns.
Nice.
Good idea.
Jonathan Bradley, The New Guardians, Green Lantern stuff.
The producer, I can't pick one, so I'll just pick 2. It would be Nightwing on CW or Spawn on HBO. Nice.
Jessica Smith says The Crow.
And Anthony says The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. The show needs to be made by the BBC and written/adapted by Mark.
He thought about that a lot.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so moving into our question of the week for this coming week. It should be pretty funny. Which Disney/Marvel/Star Wars crossover would you love to see? And we'll put it in any medium. You can see
movie, TV show,
comic, TV show. How would you see them?
This is coming on the heels of the Phineas and Ferb and Avengers thing.
Yeah. So what franchises would you like to see mix?
Oh, I'd like to see. You know me with Star Wars. The only thing I really care about Star Wars anymore is the new Jedi Academy or the kids.
Yeah, the new stuff. I know.
I think it might be cool to have the kids cross over into. Oh, I don't watch as much Disney anymore.
No, not on any Disney shows.
It would be neat to see something like that. Maybe they end up on Earth. Maybe they...
Kick Buttowski
Star Wars.
Kick Buttowski meets Deadpool would be funny as all get.
Oh, that's good. Star Wars goes through a black hole and ends up in modern day New York. That could be neat. I like your idea better, though. Kick Buttowski and, what was it? Deadpool?
And Deadpool.
That could be funny.
Kick Buttowski and Deadpool. That's my cross. Because I watch Kick Buttowski. It's funny.
I like it. So, yeah, guys, send us your crossovers. We'd love to see it. You guys are probably going to be a lot more funny than I am this week. So, good show?
Good show.
Guys, on that note, we're going to go ahead and end the show this week. And
Jedi versus Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh, Jesus. We're going to go ahead and end it. Guys, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. It was a good show. I thought it was a pretty decent show.
Yeah.
And if you want to contact us, you can do so on our Facebook page. You can go to nerdandthenoob.com to get to the Facebook page.
We are Nerd and the Noob on Twitter. My Twitter is gman0184.
I am Mango IRL.
And you can email us at nerdandthenoob@gmail.com.
Yeah, or just shoot us any random messages. You can call him at 867-5309.
Really?
I'm really hoping somebody says something. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming. We love you every week for joining us. This is just we're having so much fun doing this. Again, we want to thank High Definition for all the new artwork that he's done. I saw him and the producer in the chat going, "Oh wait, what about this? Oh blah blah blah."
In a couple of weeks, we are going to play on con. So more than likely, there will not be any. There will not be a show in 2 weeks.
We'll be doing one.
We'll be doing this coming weekend.
Yeah, I think we'll be doing one next weekend.
And then 2 weeks from 2 weeks from today. Yeah.
Let's look at the calendar here. All right, so yeah, we'll be doing one next Sunday, but we won't be doing one the Sunday after, unless we just happen to get home in time.
Yeah, maybe.
So we'll see how it goes.
We'll see what happens. We've got some people down there that might have some recording equipment. We might try to do something down there.
That.
We see what we can do on my phone, for that matter.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace out.